Let's take a look at turning radius and what that means for road design. A turning radius is going to be the minimum turning path for any vehicle. And so we have an illustration of one here. This is a fairly small car, a passenger car. All right, and you can see its wheelbase right here and its general dimensions here. And so if that car was to try to make a right-hand turn or a U-turn, right, it can't turn any tighter than its minimum turning radius, right? And so you see a couple of dimensions here. This inner radius looks like 13.8 feet, and the outer radius here of 24 feet, right? You're actually going to want to leave some buffer, all right, to either side of that. This is simply the minimum space that car needs to turn. Different vehicles will have different turning radii, and this makes sense. All right, we all know that buses need more space to turn around than cars. So how do you know which turning radius to use in your road design? Generally speaking, you need to look at the zoning in your municipality and figure this out. You can see it right here. They call it, in this case, curb return. That's unusual a little bit, but that's what they mean. This is the design values for the turning radius for these types of roads. What if you're doing something like a private road or a student project and you don't have these values? Here are some kind of generic values that you can use for an inside and an outside turning radius for different vehicles: car, ambulance, bus, fire truck, and semi-truck or trailer. All right. Now, most of the time, in 90% of the cases, all right, you want to design for the ambulance or possibly the fire truck, all right, in case of emergency happening on your site. Right? We've got to have emergency services to our site. This diagram, which is also located in your module, is also a really good resource for these smaller diameters, all right, which are appropriate for when someone perhaps comes to a stop and does a slow turn out from a driveway onto a street. Our smallest examples of roadway design are going to be residential driveways, and in this diagram they're also showing garages, and that's because we can assume a smaller vehicle and much slower speeds, all right, and so therefore take a look at this diagram, which is also located in your module, all right, and we can see that we have this 10-foot turning radius, all right, and also an 11-foot minimum drive lane width.